Hi folks, here I go again with another one of my crazy interactions with aiazmir. And this follows on from my last one where he taught me about the hologram and how holograms work. And he told me in explaining that our hologram of reality had been intercepted or changed by the fallen angelics. So I asked him to explain that because I can't understand how they could possibly do that. And so he went into a long explanation, which I won't give you now because it'll take you longer than I intend this video to be. But he explained that it had to do with the way holograms are formed. Now, in our 3D world, we create holograms when we point two lasers over an object, like say an apple, and another laser going off towards a mirror. And one laser goes over the apple and projects the image of the apple onto a mirror. And then the second laser reflects off a mirror. They get reflected off a back mirror and onto a holographic screen. And the angle of these mirrors are 45 degrees. Now, and that creates a perfect kind of correlation between the two laser lights, and so the picture of the object is captured in the holographic film in this holographic system. Well, in the universe, what happens is the source light comes down directly, and then it's reflected off what is called the parallel light and sound fields, which is that 45-degree angle to the source light, and that gets reflected back into what is called the parallel light and sound, parallel reality fields, or the holographic fields, and then that light is then generated down into the hologram, which is our experience here. So it's all about the angle of reflection of light and how it comes down in the universe. But in the universe and on our physical reality, there's also something called refraction. And the angle at which light reflects or refracts. Now, refraction is like when you're looking into a glass and you hold a glass of water in your hand, you can see your fingers holding the glass. But as you draw that closer to you and you hold it under you and you look further down, you can't see your fingers anymore holding the glass. And that's called reflection. So refraction and reflection and the angle at which they reflect or refract is critical to understanding how this our holographic reality was changed. Now, how they did this was about 26,000 years ago. And they took over the planet, and they told Earth beings that they wanted to bring a second moon into Earth, and the Earth beings agreed to that, and they thought this was a great idea because the first moon that these fallen angelics had brought into the Earth worked pretty well because it created a 24-hour, system of light that was helpful to people. But when they brought the second moon in, it didn't actually it broke through our gravitational fields, and it actually hit Earth. And what it did, it hit Earth off its angle of rotation. And that angle of rotation that they calculated would be 23.5 degrees. So reflection and refraction are very important in understanding this concept, because when they change the Earth off at an angle of 23.5 degrees off its normal magnetic spin, the universal energies coming in were reflected and not refracted. So they didn't come into Earth, they were bounced off out into the atmosphere. And this reflection was then captured on the planet Saturn, and then they created this thing called the blank slate technology system, which is, just a way that they could control the hologram here. I know this is a short video, but sometimes if you understand things in short, they explain simply in short terms. You don't have to go into the detail of it. But those who want to go into the detail of this can actually go into the detail of it, because it has to do with that critical reflection or refraction index. At a certain point of angle, light is either reflected or refracted. And that's kind of how they did it. So go do your research and maybe you'll understand this better than I do. So love you all. Bye-bye.